Winners handed their certificates while the tallying for others still ongoing. However, all eyes are on the Bomas of Kenya, where the tallying and verification of the presidential results is still in progress. And Kenyans continue to wait for the poll commission to announce the man to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes, the commission has until Tuesday, the 16th of August, to declare the winner of the presidential election. By yesterday, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that's IEBC, had announced enhanced measures at the Bomas of Kenya in a bid to expedite the process and safeguard its integrity. In the revised rules of procedure, IEBC said that chief presidential agents are from the 4 presidential candidates, that is, and their assistants, are among the few who will be allowed in the auditorium. But we'll be getting the full information from Leila Mohammed and by now how many returning officers have been cleared. And so, Leila.
All right, I think we'll be having Leila right there behind.
There she is, Leila. Good afternoon, and good to see you once again. We keep going strong, fist in the air. What's happening at Bomas right now? Last night was quite animated, possibly when you were asleep, but how is it now? What's the update?
I don't need to tell you, Dan. You can just see it for yourselves. It's a buzz, and not with any buzzing activity, but people just being busy and laying their heads in the papers that are before them, just to speed it up a bit to ensure that Wafula Chebukati and his team are able to clear the 290 constituency documentation that is presented here. Yesterday, he was giving us figures of about 263 returning officers having brought their papers, and also noting that about 124 were waiting in line and basically just sitting in the wings out there, many of them being here for more than 3 days without having any form of direction. All those were cleared by last evening. By 11 p.m. their documentation had been received by Wafula Chebukati himself, and up until now I can read about 182 constituencies that have already received their documentation, and also those data read out. The latest include Matuga, Chuka, Igamba, Ng'ombe, Nyatike, Jomvu, Webuye West, Dagoretti South, Kajiado South, Laikipia East Constituency, Cherangani, Changamwe, Laisamis in Marsabit, Kajiado North, Turkana West, Dagoretti North, Teso South, Kamukunji, Rongo, Mount Elgon, Bomet East, Limuru, Tiganya West, Turkana Central, Turkana East, Mbere South, Aina Moi, Igembe North Constituency, Sirisia, Kiharu, Lamu West, Mwea, Westlands, Bobasi, Kitui Central, Juja, Gatundu North, Kilome, Kisauni, Embakasi West, Bonchari, and Keses. Those are the latest figures just having been read out by the vice chairperson there not more than 30 minutes ago. The earlier data was read out at about 5 a.m. this morning, and them having to take quite a bit of time before they give us such a big list, and maybe that's the strategy they're having right now, to have a big bundle before they can make those announcements. However, it's been quite a busy process. The police are standing around the vicinity, this circle where all the tables that the IEBC officials, including the agents of the presidential candidates, are waiting in line. So IEBC seeming to enforce a security measure yesterday announced by the chairperson Wafula Chebukati, and just insisting that anyone who would be able to have access into this hall would be someone who has a significant role that they play. For many of us being here with our cameras and our notebooks just to document what is going on in this vicinity, the observers, both international and local, the European Union, who is among the group of ambassadors and teams from the international community, and on this side has been left for the political parties. Today we are seeing quite low numbers of those seated on the aisles. Wafula Chebukati insisting that he would require lesser numbers within this hall, and just to have people who have significant duties that they are undertaking. And on the floor, he was requesting that the only people who will be on their feet at any moment include the chief agent and their deputy and the legal teams of the 4 presidential candidates who are working table by table to ensure that the process is ongoing as they would have preferred for their teams, and as well as there are at any moment 2 special officers from the IEBC just help with the questions that are being received. Also, once every on a rotational basis, the observers and the teams from the ambassadorial community walk also into this hall and just witness what is ongoing. The team here at IEBC insisting that verification, as much as it is dealing with data, shouldn't be something that really should undergo scrutiny to a level where it's taking 3 to 4 hours to finish with one returning officer. Those were some of the concerns of the IEBC chairperson yesterday, who was saying because of the long times and the lengthy moments they're taking with each returning officer, it would be ridiculously impossible for them to beat that 7-day deadline. And as you clearly have noted, that window is fast closing in on this particular team that is in charge of this election. Dan, I've just given you the statistics and the names of the constituencies that have already verified their data. Their returning officers already gone home, and IEBC has already cleared that bit of information. We are hoping that within the next few hours, over 144 plus constituencies that were remaining. Right now, we are at 170 plus constituencies. If I can just quickly confirm in my book, so that I don't give you the wrong figures, 182 actually constituencies that have already given their data. If you do the math really quickly, then we just have about 100 and something plus constituencies left before they can now fully tabulate the documentation and the numbers for Wafula Chebukati to give us that big announcement that many Kenyans continue to hold on to faith for will be soon. But he says it's not a matter of how soon the announcement is made, it's a matter of how accurate and how transparent the process is and how clear in their minds and in their conscience that they have delivered a credible election to Kenyans this year. So the security situation here is that access to this vicinity could be to a certain point for those who are critical players of this process. And last evening we saw a lot of the political groupings coming in and leaving, and a lot of chatter and laughter and sometimes a lot of drama. However, those are not scenes that we have witnessed or seen here at the Tallying Center or in the last few hours, Dan and Zainab.
All right, those are live pictures from Bomas of Kenya, where on the split screen on your left, you could see some of the leaders of from the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party. We can see the governor-elect of Siaya County, that is James Orengo. We can see governor-elect of Kisumu, who is Peter Anyang' Nyong'o. We can see Fred Gumo, who is a former cabinet minister. We can also see Nderitu Mureithi, who's just lost his seat in Laikipia County. He's also one of the leaders in the Azimio team. It's a security situation in the sense that not everyone has been given access following the orders of the commissioners of the IEBC. So it's among the things that are bringing disquiet at the Bomas of Kenya, where some of these individuals, some of these leaders feel that they should be given access, but they are
Right.
not. On the other split screen we're seeing inside the auditorium.
Indeed. You can just remember actually yesterday that